Hello, welcome back to New Forest Morphs. This is part 2. We're here with the beautiful Nene, Mark, Callum,
Hello.
and Laura, who's our camera lady for the second time. I hope you enjoyed part 1. I'm looking forward to seeing it back. Part 2's here, and we're going to kickstart with Nene. You've created something here. What's going on here?
Well, I was handling Inferno, and I put my hat down, and he's kind of went under my hat.
So why do you think he's gone under the hat? Does he like New Forest Morphs, do you think?
I don't know. I think he's using it as a hide.
He is.
He'll stay.
It's interesting because this is a teaching point here. Yesterday we were looking at a snake, and Callum helped me with the snakes going in and out.
Yeah.
And I noticed that one was back to front, and I thought, oh, which one was it? I think
there's one over here.
one over here, and I
Yeah.
thought, oh, that's Karamak is the wrong way round, and I couldn't see her name or stick, and I thought, oh, I do that all the time, by the way.
No,
So
that
don't,
was my fault.
but don't worry. But there's a teaching moment here because she was in her hide, and the hide was on the cool spot.
And she was in
Now, normally she likes to be on the warm spot. So that taught me something. It taught me that they look for security over heat sometimes.
Yeah.
And even though I've got good ambient temperature and it's not too bad of a differential,
Having two hides in.
Should I remove?
having two hides is a good
Should
idea.
I remove?
Yeah, you can remove and reveal your snake. There we go. I think it's one of the prettiest snakes that I've seen. Now you can see he's a little bit nervous. Can you see his heart pumping there?
Yeah.
Now that body language to say he probably should go back now and let him rest.
Yeah.
Because he's got a journey
He's
to
got
go
a
on.
long ride.
So, shall we put him back and we'll
Yeah,
bring him out
I'll
when
put
he's...
him back.
Yeah, you can play with some other snakes, but when a snake starts to heavily pant or breathe, it's a
Yeah.
little bit nervous and it's probably had too much time out. And therefore you read that body language and you put it back and you slowly... Yeah, so well
And
done.
that's why it's gone under there to hide.
So he wanted to hide, and
Yeah.
therefore, even though we love to play with our snakes, we've got to know when it's time to put them back. Because if you overplay a snake for too much time, it'll go off food and it won't eat, and then it could die. So what we have to do is learn how much time we have out the snake and how much time we put back is a very important lesson to learn here. But coming back to the hide, is that with the hide, it chose security over heat. Isn't that interesting?
And what's interesting is also the hat that I was wearing today. And he chose the hat that I was wearing.
Absolutely, and you know you're going to take that hat back with you with your t-shirt,
Yeah.
and that will help him with the transition because he'll think that you're New Forest Morphs, which you are now part of New Forest Morphs. You realise that? You're going to help make the transition easy, and being such a loving keeper, I think he's going to be very well taken care of. And Daddy's going to teach you how to feed him. He used feed little rat fluffs about that size, and at the end of the day when you go home, I will give you the right food for each animal so that you know exactly what they need,
Good.
and it will make the transition easier as well. Okay?
May I hold Pepsi?
Absolutely. So Pepsi, you named Pepsi, didn't you?
Yes.
So let's bring him out. Now keep your fingers low in case he thinks you're feeding him, because otherwise you'll get bitten.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you bring him out and bring him to the table, that's good.
Oh wow, this was pretty.
Yeah, he's a pretty one. Now, we need to see... Can you see he's got his head and he's looking at you and maybe wants some food? So you wouldn't put your hand near his head. We'd have a look and see. This is Pepsi. He is a het ultramel. So you can't see the ultramel, can you?
No, that would be the hidden gene.
That's the hidden gene. The recessive gene is the... Well done. You are a good learner. So he's carrying a hidden gene.
So his
So watch your fingers because he's coming up to eat. So you want to keep your fingers down, but go on.
So the het would be the dominant gene.
So the het is the one version of the gene. So to get a recessive visual, you need to have two hets coming together, which creates a visual. He's got one het. So the het isn't strong enough to show itself. It hides behind the wild.
Yeah.
That's a recessive gene, okay? But look, he's showing an interest in you, and I think he likes you. Now, he's never been socialised, but you can see he's nervous. Now, if you look at his body, see his heart beating?
Yeah. It's
No.
So he's a little bit nervous. So what we'll say is we'll put him back and we'll find a snake that's not as nervous for you to handle, because I think that's what I would do.
I
So
think that Peanut's desperate to come
Daddy,
out.
yeah.
Look.
No.
Look, Peanut.
Peanut. So let's have a look at Peanut, shall we?
It's like trying to dig
Now
it.
he may want to eat, you see. Some of these snakes want to eat. So I think Peanut's a lovely name that you've chosen for this particular snake, because he looks like he's got peanuts on him. Now what we'll do is I'll come in behind.
He is a...
What do you think he is? What do you think he is?
I would say say that he was.
Have a look at him. Does he similar to the one you're picking up?
Yeah.
But it's your one's got.
I've got it.
Gone.
Ultra mouth.
Excellent, well done. Would you like to hold him? Now, he is in a S shape, which means you've got to hold him with his head facing away.
So,
That's
does
it.
S mean it's going to strike?
Yeah,
Not
S can mean strike, but not always. Sometimes they're inquisitive. But if they're in an S shape, they could strike. That's a good way of remembering, though.
S strike.
S for strike, yes. Very good. So you're my tamer. So do you want to tame him while we then move on to the next part of the video, which is looking at your story and how you got into ball pythons, and then moving on to your projects and what you're picking up from here, some more snakes. So what we'll do is we'll start with Daddy. So Mark, tell us a little bit about your journey when it comes to reptiles and snakes. Tell us what's been going on.
We started all the way back in 2009. We kept bearded dragons, geckos, corn snakes, royal pythons. But then unfortunately when we had to move, we couldn't take all the royals with us. So we had to downsize.
Okay.
And then when we moved again, where we are now, we could start again, and Cam took a big interest in it. So we're building our collection here.
Excellent. And how many ball pythons did you have in the day?
We had 19 in the day.
Oh, this is so music to my ears because you've got some experience, is what we're saying.
Yeah. And we had 10 corn snakes.
Excellent.
But then obviously we downsized. But now we've got quite a few now.
Yeah, and we're going to share some of those. Actually, Callum, you've got on your phone some of your animals. Would you like to share with Mum? Can zoom in on these and share.
I think it's time for him to go back.
Done.
His heart is pumping.
Okay, let's put him back. Yeah.
So
I think they're
that's
all
one
pretty
of our
nervous today.
Well,
Harveys we've
they're brand new babies, so they will be. Yeah.
yeah, that's one of
I'll
our
put him back.
passions.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
I could kind of feel his heart starting to beat.
Well done, Nene. You're reading it well. Well done.
That's a solid eater, that one.
You've had 2 clutches this year, Callum.
Yeah. So this was a Mojave to a lesser.
And you were shooting for your first bell project. Did you hit the bell?
We did, which is
Oh,
the lovely
fantastic!
bell.
When I hit my first bell, I was jumping for joy.
Yeah.
It's a joyous experience.
Very placid as well.
Yeah, lovely.
He's
And is
tame.
she eating okay?
Yeah, well, we had to assist feed
You-
first.
you assist fed her?
Which
Yep.
obviously you helped with.
Yeah.
But now she's feeding fine.
Jared made a video on assist feeding, and Mark called me up and said, how do we assist feed? And the nice thing about having a video is instead of me demonstrating or not being there, you can go to the video and see Jared, who's much more expert than I am anyway. And you,
Very tricky to do, mind.
it's tricky,
Very
but
tricky.
you've done it. You've learnt to pop, you've learnt to assist feed. They're 2 skills, they're not easy to do. And of course, Callum, you can learn that from Dad now.
Yeah.
So Callum is really excellent at handling snakes, is really positive with his outlook. Dad, you can train him on how to do all these things, and
We train each other basically.
Yeah, natural process. Jared's training me, so you know it's lovely. It's lovely to see that. Yes, Nina. So let's have a look at this one here and see what we've
I
got.
just noticed he's very pretty.
Yeah. So again, it's searching for food. So you want to keep your hand away for a second. Now, when a snake thinks you're being fed, do you know the technique? Do you know the technique of not getting bitten when a baby wants to feed? Shall I show you a technique? Now over there's a little, see that little hook by the bottle? If you bring me the hook, we'll do a little demonstration of how to... Yeah, so let me show you what you do. Now the head, if you were to just not tap on the head, but just get it out of strike mode.
That was the one that was giving me trouble.
You're pushing him down, and now he knows food isn't coming. You pick him up on the back, and now he's now out of eat mode. He's now in you can handle me mode for a little bit.
He's like...
Now look, he's wrapping himself around me. See that? And let him do what he wants to do. In other words, don't flash your hand in front of the head because you like to get struck, but let him feel secure. And now, like Avatar, his soul is connected with my soul. And if I'm in a relaxed state, he can be in a relaxed state. If I'm in a nervous and moving state, you're likely to get a nervous reaction. So the key is to try and be as calm as you can and do a little bit of socializing, and 2 or 3 minutes is enough for a hatchling. Remember, we're trying to get them feeding, we're trying to get them going, so if you overhandle, they go off food. So it's okay to do a little bit of handling, but you've got a snake that's established and is eating well, so therefore you can handle more than this. This one is yet to get going properly, so we won't spend too much time with him. But did you see, we use the hook, and some people use their hands, which I wouldn't recommend because they will potentially bite you.
Yeah.
But some people use their hands and just put them in a hide mode by going on top like this. But remember, they've got a natural evolution has taught them to keep an eye on what's above, because a bird will come down and take them as prey. Therefore, they see us as potential predators.
Defensive mode.
But the more you look after them, clean them and feed them, they'll see you not as a predator but as a mummy or daddy. So you become their mummy or daddy. You know that? Yeah. So let's put this one back, because I think he is a little bit nervous and he's quite small.
That one was giving me trouble yesterday.
Now,
So.
how I would do this, now he's secure. He could decide to strike me and I could get bitten here. So I'm in danger of getting bitten here, but I'm going to gently try to take him off my hand, slowly. Like that, without too many signs, always under like that, and then try to put him down gently.
I've noticed that when they wrap around you, their tail also like clips to any like surface like.
And why do you think that is? Do you
like,
think?
So if their like body or head was to fall off, like or fall down, then their tail would still be wrapped around.
Absolutely.
So they could
It's all
hang
part.
on.
It's absolutely right. It's all about security. It has to feel anchored and secure. When we feel anchored and secure, we feel secure. Yeah, they want to feel secure, and also they do climb trees, and they use their tails to help them climb trees. They're pure muscle. They can spiral up a tree, no problem at all.
We had a couple of bananas as well.
Let's have a look at Callum. Let's see your babies, and
big
congratulations, by the way, on getting no slugs, and for doing your first egg cut, and doing it, I would say, very successfully for your first attempt for a while. I mean, you haven't bred before. You kept them as pets, the 19.
No, we bred bearded dragons before.
Bearded dragons,
but that's a lot different.
Okay.
It's a lot different.
Different ball game. We'll come on to that one in a maybe on another video. But it's still good experience to know that you've done breeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've kept eggs and you've kind of...
Yeah.
I'm guessing that with bearded dragons, they produce eggs, you've got to incubate them?
Yes.
Yeah. So a similar process.
Yeah.
Well, Canon, very many congratulations on what you've achieved. I'm seriously impressed. 16, only been in the hobby about a year.
Yeah.
And honestly, your learning curve is very steep. I can see you going far in this industry. Now, your future plans are to build your own facility?
In the future, yeah.
Who's going to take care of the plastering?
I suppose I'll have to do it.
But you are connected to the building industry, so you've got mates that can come and help you.
Yeah.
And you'll end up probably building a facility for half the price as a result. We built ours as a family and got friends in to help us as well. And that is sometimes how we do it, because, you know, we haven't got 50 grand to blow. You know, you might have a few £1,000s that you really want to put in the right place. But having a separate facility outside is a good idea. Yeah. How are you getting on there? Do you want another one to tame?
Yeah, I was just looking at some of the patterns.
Let me see if I can get you one to play with, because I'm going to have a look and see which one might be nice. Do you want to play with one of my bells? Because I've got a bell that you might want to play with. Now I've got a snake called Lulu, who is a beautiful bell. Would you like to play with her?
You have a dog called Lulu, don't you? Yeah.
So she is a really beautiful bell, and we'll just show it to the camera. She's last year's bells, and I believe she is carrying Het Ultima. She is carrying 50% Exantic, and she is a Mojave and a bamboo, or she could be a super bamboo, we're not sure. But it's produced a beautiful bell. We hit 6 of these last season, and we sold a couple. We've given one to a friend, and this is one that I would like. Nay, can you try to get this domesticated? And this one will be comfortable with you, I'm sure. Slightly bigger than what you're used to, but if you get your hand supporting it, 2 hands.
I've held up ours, so I think I've held bigger.
Isn't that lovely, Mummy? Isn't that just lovely? Against the white, against the black. So well done. So I think she'll be fine with you for the next 5-10 minutes. Let's go on to your future projects now.
Yeah.
So you're going to build your facility, and I'll help you with that process.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how we did ours, and I'll share that with the community, because people may want to build facilities out there. We did this off, there was no drawings or architect involved. It was literally done out of our heads. We did it as we went, and we did it as a family. And later we had to get an architect, because the council gave us permission to do it to start with, and then realised we're listed, and we had to go through a formal application because one of our neighbours complained. We went to the parish council to represent ourselves. The neighbour didn't turn up. It was pretty nerve-wracking a little bit, but I'm a public speaker, so I just went. I'm also quite good at presenting my case, because I'm a professional accountant that has to negotiate deals for my clients. with the revenue and other people, so I know how to negotiate. And therefore I use my skills, and I basically got the whole of the council leaders, including the chairman, were happy to support us with our application, and it was over in 5 minutes, and my band and I went for a beautiful romantic walk on a full moon to celebrate our success, because we're not just building a facility, I was building my family, building the facility. Do you get my drift? Even my grandson, who was only like 6 months, he was actually we put him in the digger to level the ground, and then before we laid the concrete, got a picture of my grandson in a massive digger with a helmet on, not operational, but it was a family affair, and we put in the pool, and we did things during the lockdown period because we needed to have a facility for our snakes, because I was like yourselves, Mandy wanted them out of the house, so I thought we need to do this. And we did it successfully, and since then this is now my temple, and when you come in here you can feel the love that we have here. It's a sacred place, it's a sacred space to me, and it's helped me through COVID and helped build my family, and I want you to have that similar experience when you build yours as a family. And I'm sure for Callum it will be your escape as well, it'll be a place and I wish you well with that. So good. So let's go into the projects now. Which one should we do first, Callum? Do you want to bring out Ezekiel?
Yeah.
Let's bring out Ezekiel. So Ezekiel is a proven clown boy. Callum, you wanted to get into the gravel clown project. You've got a couple of beautiful girls. You've got a Mardi Gras who's ready to go, actually, is she?
She'll
Not
probably
season after.
Season after. How big is she?
I think she's like nearly close to 400 grams.
That's
She'll need
excellent.
quite a lot.
You'd be surprised how quickly 400 can go
We've
to
also got
800.
the champagne cinnamon orange.
Excellent. So Orange Ghost.
Orange Ghost, yeah.
So this guy here is a proven breeder. He's a lovely boy. I think you've bonded with him, Callum.
Yeah.
And you're going to be very respectful because he's going on a journey. We won't bring him out for too much, but I think we'll just show you what he is. But he could be carrying blade. He could be a blade clown, but we'll say he's a clown for now.
Yeah.
If you get the extra gene, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
But he will give you. If you put him to a clown girl, you get all clowns because he's got the recessive. He's got 2 clown genes in him, so he's a visual recessive. But the girl he's going to is a het clown, but she's got cinnamon.
Yeah.
And what are you hoping to shoot for?
Some cinnamon clowns.
Absolutely. So we'll put Ezekiel back, and then we'll bring out the girl, and then we'll show you what they'll produce, because I've actually produced a pastel cinnamon clown, which we can bring out and show people what we're producing. Well done, Nene. You're doing a good job back there. We see this family are natural, and although Mum's doing the camera work, the way she was handling Apollo. And you did jump a little bit when he started going down your shirt. But you weren't sure what he was up to. But the reality, he was just looking for a hide.
Yeah.
That's all he was looking for, But you got over that fear, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're fine. So what I'm saying is Mum's also into this. And I think it's unusual to get the whole family involved.
She does put up with a lot.
Okay. But I think
To be fair.
To be fair, I think Laura's really enjoying it. I mean, I'm guessing you're enjoying this experience rather than,
Yeah.
So this girl is going into shed. You can see that. Oh, wow, that's really good, Nana. So what we've got here is a girl going into shed. We weighed her, and you guessed the weight pretty close. She's not far off, was it 13, 1500, 1400?
I think so, yeah.
She's only about 100 away. Now, what I would suggest you do is get her home, obviously give her extra humidity. You know how to give her good humidity, because obviously you spent some time with me as well yesterday, doing a lot of humidity top-ups. So I think we'll put her back, but she is carrying that important het clown, and I can guarantee you that she's 100% het clown, because I produced her from a clown boy, and I've bred with her offspring who have produced clowns as well.
Nice bracelet.
Yeah, that does look lovely. So there's your project, and that's another project which you're excited about. Should we bring out what it will produce and see what it can produce for you, so you can see what you're aiming for?
Put that one back.
Because when it came to boy clowns, you wanted to get some clown boys.
Yeah.
And we were umming and ahhing between 2 clowns, and one of them was Scribble, and one of them was this other pastel cinnamon clown, and you chose Scribble over that one.
Yeah.
What was the reason behind that, Callum?
It's because I can make that one, if that makes sense, and it's also Scribble has 1 extra gene.
Yeah.
Which can also help out.
And Scribble's got the lesser and the pastel, hasn't he? But so you can use him as well to that girl at another time. Oh, he's loving that. So let's bring out an example of the pastel cinnamon clown, and we can show you what he looks like. And Jad and I hit 2 of these. One of them's got an extra gene, and we were we wouldn't normally make them available because we're bonding with this particular family. I was prepared to sell a whole back, but Callum very gracefully saw that he could produce this, and also you opted for the extra gene, which is a good decision. So that was a good judgment on your part, because you can produce this in the next season or so, or close to it. I mean, you'll get a cinnamon clown, but then you can bring the pastel in later as well, because they're not carrying pastel, you know that. So you won't get a pastel cinnamon clown, but you'll get a cinnamon clown. Yeah, this one's a pastel cinnamon clown, and look how beautiful it is. Yeah. But the next boy that you're buying, which could possibly have gravel in, we're not selling it with the gravel. We're assuming it has no gravel, but it is a beautiful snake too. Did you want to get Scribble as well? We can just explain what's going on there. So isn't that a lovely boy though? Beautiful. And Dad, I want you to think about your snake as well, because you're going to bring that out and show us what you're going for. So we'll do that on that'll be the final snake, I think. Have I missed any snakes, or? I think once Dad brings out his snake, you've got 3 adults, and you're going for 2 is it 2 hatchlings?
Yeah, 2 hatchlings.
2 hatchlings, yeah, okay. So.
And the, isn't it the pastel gravel het clown boy, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're going for 3 hatchlings, and you're going for 3 adults, you've got 6. And we'll
so you can get rid of Kai, if not, we'll have to pick one
another time,
we'll come back in October.
Yeah, so let's have a look at this one. I'll put this one back. Why don't you explain that one to the camera, and what you're planning to do with it, and where you'd like to take that. And you can assume that, let's say there is gravel in it, although we will talk about the gravel project, but if there isn't gravel, what would you do with it?
I don't know, to be honest, just...
They'd probably go to the special, the Calico Special. We've got a Calico Special.
You got a Calico Special.
Which is also, what else they got? Pastel
and super gravel in it as well.
Well, exactly. So what you could do here is you could put that to your super gravel to get the super gravel. Now, if it has got gravel, guess what can happen here? You could end up with a super gravel that are het for clown, but also have lesser and pastel in. And if you go to the Mardi Gras got the Enchi, you can end up with
and the highways
and the highway clowns with Enchi, which would be fantastic. So there's a lot you can do. Remember, these boys are there for the future, not just for one-off. You've got girls that you can put them to, and if it's got gravel, you end up hitting some super gravels, which is really what we're going for, super gravel clown. So you'll be this will fast track you if it's carrying gravel. If it isn't carrying gravel, and we're not selling it with gravel, I've sold it as though it's got no gravel, because Jared and another friend have said they don't think it's got gravel. I'm not sure, because I'm looking at this and you're seeing all these gravel marks on it, and it could be a bonus. And if you get the difference between this snake and a gravel clown with his genes is about 600 quid. So if I sell it for £600 less, because I don't think there's gravel in, I'm trying to be prudent. If you hit it with gravel, I'm not going to say give me the other 600. I'm going to say enjoy it and have it as a bonus. Is what I'm going to say, because I would like, if anything was to happen on the uplift of a snake, I would love it to happen to Cam.
Cheers.
Yeah. So from my perspective, I'm really happy with this. Whatever happens anyway. But so you got that as an opportunity. You can also put him to your het cinnamon clown girl.
I can.
And what could you produce?
What we just got out.
Yeah, and even more, because it'll have it's got lesser and pastel.
Yeah.
And it will have cinnamon, and you will end up with something very powerful. I'll bring out what you could hit with that. We've hit it. So Torpedo is a beautiful version of what you could hit. Do you want to slip that one back? Do you want to have a go at slipping it on the back? Because it's important to know how to get one. Lulu goes in there. So if you put Lulu in there and then shove that one has right in,
Pastel, Cinny, and a lesser clown.
You can produce one of these.
Yeah.
And if that one's carrying gravel, throw gravel into the mix, which would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. Thank you. Isn't it lovely though?
Very.
It's doing really well. It is a beautiful animal. So you've got the opportunity to make one of these now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that girl could serve many purposes for you. Not just produce the cinnamon clown, but produce something like this, possibly with gravel.
Yeah.
Plus also your other projects. So I think that's good. Let's put these back and bring out the final snake, which is actually, I think is a very wise move, which has got guaranteed gravel. How many minutes have we got, Mummy?
6.
We've got 6 minutes. So let's just bring him out and see how he's going. So he's over here. So this is a Pastel gravel het clown boy, identical to his father Skip.
Wow.
And the reason why we think he's got gravel, well, we know he's got gravel, is because he's got the gravel marks within the alien heads, very gravelly. And I'm pretty certain he will produce you, hopefully, the super gravels that you want. Because if you put him to your Mardi Gras and he's carrying gravel, half of them will be gravel from his perspective, but you've got a super gravel, which means that you've got guaranteed gravel.
Yeah.
Now, because he's a het clown, half of them will be het for clown of your clutch. And the only way to find out which ones are carrying the het clown would be to breed with them or to shed test them. And it might be wise to shed test for, say, 50 or 60 quid, because that might be a better route for you to go when you get your offspring.
Instead of spending years building them up and
producing offspring. So what I'm saying is, you could end up with a super gravel with Enchi in it from the Mardi Gras, but that will be then, half of them will be het for clown and half won't be.
Yeah.
And then you've got to then look for the markers and then also do a shed test on some of them to work out what's carrying that het clown, and you should be able to see the super gravel, because the super gravel looks like a highway.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So when you put gravel to gravel, it looks like a highway, but it can look even better.
Yeah.
But the difference is, what's the advantage of having a super gravel over a highway, do you think? Because a highway is a yellow belly and a
yellow belly and gravel.
and a gravel.
Yeah.
And they have, the Americans have the version they call the freeway. Freeway is asphalt, which is very similar to gravel but different, and that produces what they call a freeway, which looks very similar. But you want to put pastel in there, because when you put pastel into a freeway, highway or super gravel, it pops.
Okay.
And looks great, you get the contrast. He's carrying the pastel that you need. Your Mardi Gras isn't carrying pastel.
Yeah.
So you've got a chance of pastel going in the mix. So you could produce, eventually, pastel super gravel clowns, which will be phenomenal, with the potential of Enchi in as well. And I haven't seen any of those, but I reckon they're going to look great.
Yeah.
So that's really, think about the end game. It could take you 5 years to get there, but you've got the ingredients to make it now. So I think this is a really wise. There's one other person that was sniffing on this one. I'm glad it's going to you, and I'm really pleased that you're going to use them in your projects, because it's one good thing buying new snakes, but you've got to integrate them into your projects. So with that in mind, Dad, I've got a snake for you as a token of my gratitude. So I know you love leopard.
Yeah, I do like leopard.
And I'm gonna give you Mowgli. So if you want to go and get Mowgli, Canon, we'll put this guy back, and we'll end on this note. And thank Mum for doing a great camera work for us. You've got a very steady hand. And thank Nene for being our snake wrangler and handler, and excellent in the video. You came across really well. I'm sure that a lot of people out there are going to enjoy watching our videos.
So I think he's going into shed, isn't he?
He's going into shed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to give him height.
It's a bit tight in there. You okay, Jad?
Yeah, well, yes.
He's also 100% het for clown.
100% het for clown.
50% het for pied.
So he could be, if he ends up being a double het, brilliant, because he can get into the clown pied project.
Yeah.
But even if he doesn't prove out to be het clown, you've got.
I just love the pattern of the. For me, I like the pattern of the leopard.
Yeah, and he's got pastel as well, because you can see the pastel because the head stamp is slightly white. The pastel makes the head stamp go a bit white.
He's just phenomenal.
And it makes, I think he's beautiful. I mean, I fell in love with him. I've had him for 4 or 5 years. I've got him from another breeder. So all the genetics, I haven't proven out the genetics, I haven't bred with him.
Alright.
But the breeder that sold to me as 100% het pied and 50% het clown, and he's a reputable breeder, and all his other animals have proven out. So I'm saying to you that that's how I bought him and how he's sold. If it doesn't prove out to be het pied, I will help you out, so don't worry, but I'm pretty certain that this breed is reliable and we can trust that.
Yeah.
But it's the leopard you're after anyway, so you've got your leopard.
I love leopard.
So that can feed, we're feeding leopard into loads of our genetics.
Yeah.
Leopard's
So,
a lovely
Leopard,
gene.
very pretty, especially if you
Yeah.
put it with the right stuff.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what he does in the end for you, where you put him. So I think that's about wrapping it up for part 2. We've got a lovely meal to make together before you guys head back to Wales. Just to show you what I'm going to do to package the animals, to show you, we've got about a minute or 2, haven't we?
Well, it's, coming up to 30 now, really.
30 seconds?
Yeah.
anyway, okay, we won't go there. We'll take care of the package, but I want to say, first of all, thank you very